Hey everyone, I'm making a video here. I don't even know where I'm going to go with it. I'm just totally going off the cuff at this point. I figured I'll just hit the record button and just kind of go off the cuff and on the fly and try to see if I can get through this and make sure that people at least understand enough that this is just coming from my heart, from my mind, from my soul. This is like I say, there's no scripted narrative. Even when you watch my videos, there's nothing scripted about it. Everything's just off the cuff, on the fly. The only difference is when I make a mistake or I pronounce a word wrong, like you'll see a lot of times that you'll see like some cut, some edit on my video. But all that is to make it more seamless. It's never because I'm trying to misrepresent anything or trying to cut out or edit the things that I'm trying to say. No, it's just like I say, I realize that for people to want to pay attention to my videos, I have to make it as seamless as possible. And when you're just thinking on the fly, it's really hard. Sometimes, like I say, there's pauses, there's those awkward pauses. I have to edit those awkward pauses. I don't want you to see the awkward pauses where I'm just running something through my mind. Not even so much that I'm embarrassed that you're going to see that I'm running stuff through my mind. That's not even the biggest concern. The other thing is the time allotment, because people don't apparently want to pay attention to long form videos. Well, unless they're having discussions, right? Or you're talking about things from a macro perspective. But when I'm dealing with a lot of these topics, when you're talking about political issues, I want to make it come across as seamless as humanly possible. But in this video, I want to keep the editing to a bare minimum. I just want you to see and hear and feel my passion and my resolve, my ambition, right? I want you to understand that this is stuff, when I talk about this stuff, it's not, I don't even make any money. I mean, some people could use, like if you're making money off of espousing rhetoric or political positions, people can say, oh, well, they're just doing that because that's how they get their paycheck. But if you pay attention to my videos and you listen to the fact that I tell people all the time, I've never made a dime. And I mean, the evidence is out there. You can see I've never monetized any of my videos. I don't even have, well, hey, I did actually at one point in time set up a Patreon account, but you can even go and look at my Patreon account. Never made a dime. Because I set it up because I thought for a minute there, I thought, well, maybe I should be getting paid to say what I got to say. I do spend a lot of time. I do put a lot of time and effort into these things, but I thought, no, because the minute you start going into the money thing, somebody's going to find a way to fuck me up. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go full on and just do what I do, and I'm just going to offer what I got to say freely. But as time has gone by, like I've been doing this for basically, I think, almost 3 years now. So it's a long time. I've been working freely. What I got, 700, I think probably 740 videos. And if you take the amount of time that to just make the videos, well, first you have to be knowledgeable enough on the particular topic. So you got to put all that time and effort to be knowledgeable on a topic or understand what it's all about. Then you have to actually do the recording of the video. Then you have to edit it and render it. A typical video, once you encompass everything that's entailed in making that and making it so it's available to someone to watch, 3, 4, 5 hours minimally is what is usually required or deemed necessary to produce a video. Take that, like I say, add that up over 740 videos. I've already put a tremendous amount of time working for free. So you have to at least understand that I don't have any monetary agenda or political agenda, because I'm not even in politics. The only reason why I do what I do is because I care about my freedoms. I care about the freedoms of my family, the people I care about, my kids, right? So, yeah, I do have a stake or a claim in this, and I do have a reason behind what I do, but it has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with ideology, has nothing to do with power or control or manipulating people. It's just I want people to start understanding these things, because what I've paid attention to, especially for the last decade, is people are so ill-informed and misinformed by those in the establishment media that I'm like, well, things are never going to get better if people are always going to be inundated with the kind of bullshit rhetoric and propaganda that's espoused by those in the establishment media, or especially those in the establishment political parties. So I said, listen, Step up the game, Bennett. You got to help people out. You got to help people because, you know, it's not just about helping them. It's also about helping myself because if I help them, it's going to help myself. So there's selfish reasons for doing what I do, but there's also, it turns out to be somewhat benevolent too because I have to care about other people. You know, your freedoms requires that I give you your freedoms, and my freedom requires that you're willing to give them to me. So I'm fully understand, well-versed in the reciprocal effect of what it means to be an individual standing up for rights and freedoms. But when I'm getting to the point now, and I'm seeing how much over the last 3 years, like how much I've tried, how much effort and time I put into talking about these things, and I do have a substantial amount of people that pay attention to my videos now. I think I'm up to what, 3,800 and some. That's pretty good, and I'm very happy for that. But we've got to do a whole lot better. And even if it's not me, even if the market, which is just people, even if those of you in the market or those of you are just people that pay attention to my videos or other people's videos, I don't care if you pick me. It doesn't matter because to me, it's not about me as the individual. It's about the ideas that we espouse. So if it doesn't come from me, but you have to at least be willing to share and spread this information. So if you don't want to share my videos, maybe you don't think I'm the best representative of the particular views or opinions or philosophy that is the established base of what it is to be a free human being. Because there are such things as objective truths. In contrast and contrary to those postmodernists or those neo-Marxists or all those people that constantly try to confuse and confound the people and think that there's no such thing as truth or fiction. There's no such thing as morality. It's all subjective. I mean, I realize how foolish it is to suggest that that's the case. So I, like a lot of people, and even long before people like Jordan Peterson. Now, Jordan Peterson's, got the latest claim to fame, which I'm very proud of the guy for doing that. And kudos, at least people are paying attention to what he's got to say. But I will point out that Molyneux is even better than Jordan Peterson. Stephen Molyneux is head and shoulders above Jordan Peterson as far as explaining truth, logic, reason, morality, and principles. I think Jordan Peterson still kind of plays that middle ground game, right? Where he's not willing to tell people that, hey, the belief in the state, that's purely mysticism, and that's the very premise and why you're socially and economically enslaved. You have to break free from that indoctrination. Jordan Peterson, though, as someone that comes from academia, maybe he's not so willing to go that far. And you know what? Whatever. He doesn't have to, but there are people out there that are willing to go that far and be even more honest with you. And I'm one of them as well. So why is it, like, this is the thing that I'm seeing now. The people that are now want to play the middle ground or act like the referees, right? They're seeming to get all now garnering and gaining all the attention, whereas the people that are being fully honest with you, we're still stuck at the back of the bus. Why do you feel that you need to be coddled with, pretenses of somewhat complacency and conformity? I mean, like I say, I have tremendous amount of respect for Jordan Peterson. I'm not trying to throw the man under the bus by any stretch of the imagination. I think what he's doing out there is substantive and helpful to not just the general discourse, but to start getting people to understand what freedom and liberty, what individualism even entails. So I'm kind of thankful in that area in that regard. But once again, people, come on. Come on. The people are not going to be waking up just by kind of like quasi shaking them. Like Jordan Peterson's like, he's nudging them, right? Here you go, a little nudge here or there. And kudos for him doing the nudge. Whereas people like myself, people like Stephen Molyneux and others, no, we're not trying to nudge you. I'm going to shake you, man. I'm going to shake you. But you know what? That's a guaranteed way to wake you up. Jordan Peterson's approach might wake you up, but it might also just keep you in that indoctrinated slumber, but just a little bit further aligned to objective reality or reason. There's not quite there, which means if you're not quite there, you're completely susceptible to falling back into the mysticism and collectivism. he always talks about how we're supposed to be honest and truthful with each other and with ourselves. Well, I'm being as truthful as a person can possibly be. And people like Stefan Molyneux is being way more truthful as far as understanding of philosophy or politics or what it means to be a free human being. Yet, like I say, even Molyneux, and as popular as his show is, and I'm very appreciative of that his show is the most popular philosophy show on the planet, but his audience, and he's been doing this since, I think it was 2006, I believe was the first time I seen a Stefan Molyneux video. I believe that's what it was. Jordan Peterson's a latecomer, like what, just a few years, almost a decade after Molyneux, and now he's got the largest claim to fame, like I say. And once again, not trying to throw them under the bus, but come on, folks. If you want people to be educated and informed, and not playing still in that middle ground, that middle game, if you want to be truly knowledgeable, because that's the thing, knowledge is power. So if you want to give people real power, you got to give them real knowledge, not quasi-knowledge, not middle knowledge, not God or government as the only pretenses of authority. No, just give them, explain things objectively to them. Like, you don't have to have all the answers. I don't have the answers. Stefan Molyneux doesn't have the answers. Jordan Peterson doesn't have the answers. But, well, if we're going to be consistent, we got to give people the truth. And the only way that can happen is if you, the people that are watching, whether it's my videos, Stefan Molyneux's videos, or even Jordan Peterson's videos, or anyone else's videos, is you have to be willing to share them with others. If you're unwilling to share them with others, and not just share them, but make your family members, your co-workers, your neighbors, if you're not willing to hold your neighbors and co-workers and family members and all these people that maintain this rampant growth of the state, if you're not willing to hold all these people to account for their actions or the support of big government, then you're allowing them to socially and economically slave you. Even though we got some segment of the internet where we got lots of power to get out what we have to say. But once again, what does it matter if we're all just functioning in an echo chamber or only have a narrow scope as far as the people that consume our content or learn what we've got to say? And now that you're seeing that Trudeau's out there offering the establishment media another $600 million from the taxpayers, which, have you agreed to that? I haven't. No one has agreed to that. But he's going to give the establishment media $600 million. Well, now, and we've seen how terrible the establishment media is as far as properly educate and inform the masses. But think of how much worse it's going to be when that relationship, that cozy relationship between the media and government has now become even closer. When they become not just in bed together, but now they're snuggling and cuddling and spooning each other. I mean, when you get to that point, don't even expect that there's going to be anything remotely resembling objective reporting or journalism. Well, we're already seeing that it's a little tiny sliver. I won't say there's no such thing, but it's, well, for every one objective journalistic report, you're going to have a dozen propagandist opinionated political narratives. But that's only going to continue to get worse because, once again, now that Trudeau is going to bail out the media industry, well, what do you think when they recognize who bailed them out? Who do you think they're going to carry favor for? And with the 2019 elections coming up, think of how detrimental that is going to be. I mean, people like myself, like I say, that do this for free, take thousands of hours of our time over many, many years to try to help educate and inform people for free. It'll be all in vain, folks, because once again, we have no capacity to compete unless you're willing to share our content with others. If you're just consuming it for yourself, if you're just being selfish in that aspect, in that area, in that regard, well, you are letting down your fellow man, your fellow woman, and your fellow citizens in this country. If you're not unwilling to share the information, if you're, like I say, if it's only residing in your head, well, how is that helping everyone else? No. You have to have the courage and conviction and willingness to share what we have to say. If you're unwilling to share what we have to say, well, once again, you're just one of those people that wants to play in your little echo chamber. But you know what? While you're playing in your echo chamber and agreeing with each other, right? Yeah, patting each other on the back. Like I say, these collectivists, these authoritarian hacks, these control freaks, well, they know how to get a larger audience, and they are. whether they do it the authoritarian way or using the snake oil salesman tactics. They are actually achieving a larger amount of success just based on the fundamentals. I'm paying attention out there. We're still way, way below the established media as far as propagating our message. So we got to do better, folks. I'm going to do better. I'm going to hold myself to account. I'm going to hold myself to a high bar. I'm going to always strive to do better. But once again, my success, when you talk about in the social media and helping to expand and elaborate on the kind of information or fundamental principles in regards to what freedom even entails, without other people sharing it, well, once again, my reach is limited, folks. I am not a king. I'm not a dictator. I'm not a politician, right? I don't have the ability to force people to spread my information around. And I don't have millions or billions of dollars that I can steal or plunder from other people to propagate my message. I have to. My only source, the only source I have at my disposal to spread what I got to say is you, the consumer, those who watch my videos. And that's the same, like I say, for every one of us out here. So the onus is on you. You've got to share this stuff and be willing to stand in defense of the kind of freedoms and liberties that we all require to be free human beings. If you're unwilling to do so, then, well, they're going to win, folks. They're going to win. Most of the times they do, because throughout most of history, we've had no chance to challenge them, right? Other than in like violent conflicts. We, in the information age, in the internet age, we do have the capacity to challenge them without going into violent conflicts or revolutions or civil strife. We have a chance. If you're unwilling to take the chance when it's just words, right, and sharing information, well, if you're unwilling to step up the plate for just doing that, well, when the shit really hits the fan, maybe I'm not going to be so secure in the knowledge that you'll stand in real defense of liberty. If you're unwilling to use your words or share a video or two or some information, well, are you really going to stand in opposition of a violent, oppressive regime when that day comes? If that day comes, like I say, reality over rhetoric, folks. Reality over rhetoric. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.